pitch. Isi lagayan di pa niya, separate na margin niya. Di hanggang sa dingal po, lamsam amin niya. Isi na di excavation ka naman. Kaya nagnato di RSB. Puting-king di pedestal. Kasi, ang kapag mangyari, alis ka na. Discuss mo ito. Kapurado kang mangyari, alis ka. If that is the case, kasi nagiging pan yung ano yung reinforcing steel bar is 10,000 kilograms. That's a big amount. Balik ka sa una, sa first page. Hindi. Yung title. So, hindi lang installation of solar LED street lights. Kasi, kanyan iba yung width, sabi doon na. Width, anong nilagay natin? Pedestal, with post or with concrete pedestal post? Ganun. Sa brief description ng project. With concrete reinforced concrete, pedestal, post. Yeah. So that we could emphasize the use of the yung concrete at saka RSB. Okay? Baka madamdama. Patak-patak ito lang dahil ako, ang posti na gaya. Okay? Anyway, nasa brief description naman dinidescribe natin yung work. We have satisfied yung project title at saka yung title ng nasa GAA, kung GAA yan, or sa sarong na furnishing, installation and furnishing of certificates. Okay. Marjon, as the question is Sir Roy, di ba 222 posts diyan niya? Divide mo man di 150 per pedestal na ba? Hindi landok na. So let's move on to the equipment requirements. So for the minimum major equipment requirements, we needed there the dump truck, 2 owned, the 1 cargo delivery truck, and 1 boom truck. And again, as a requirement to Department Order number 11 series of 2017, the minimum materials testing equipment. For the key personnel, for the project manager, project engineer, and the project foreman should have at least 2 years of related experience. And for the materials engineer, must be a DPWH accredited. And again, under DO 241 series of 2024, um, the submission of CSSP is being approved by the HOPE. We have requirements for the manpower is the valid first aider with a valid ID issued by the PNRC, and of course the construction site safety officer with a certificate of completion on the basic OSS course, of which that the certification is issued by the DOLE. So that's all for that. So 24 PL 0139. So let's move on to the next. 25 PL 0120. This is the rehabilitation, repair of damaged slope protection and hanging PCCP along Mountain Province boundary, Kalanan Pinokpok Abot Road, Pinokpok Abot section, with station at 532 plus 661 to 532 plus 721, Katabugan, Pinokpok, Kalinga, with an EBC of 2 million pesos. It's under the maintenance. So the contract duration is 90 calendar days. The brief description is the rehabilitation, repair of 60 meters length by 3.35 meters width by 0.28 meters deep PCCP and 35 meters length grid wall with parapet. Again, the bid opening is scheduled on September 2, 2025. For the BOQ, under the Part B, under general requirements, and of course, permits and clearances, project billboard signboard, 2 weeks, occupational safety and health program, with an EBC of 23,369 pesos and 77 centavos, traffic management under Lansam, mobilization, demobilization, Lansam, for the Part C, earthworks, removal of actual structures obstruction at 0.22 meters thick, PCCP and reinforced, 200 watts per meter, structure excavation, common soil, 52.5 cubic meter, embankment from barrow, common soil, 334.81 cubic meter, and for the Part D, sub-base and base course, for the aggregate sub-base course, item 200, 20.10 cubic meter, and Part E, surface course, is the PCCP, and reinforced at 0.28 meters thick at 14 days, 200 watts per meter. And Part G, drainage slope protection structures for the RSB at grade 40, 3,849.38 kilograms. And the structural concrete, Class A, 44.65 cubic meter. Grotted grip wrap, Class A is 95.35. And the miscellaneous structure is the for paint for the parapet, 35.4 piece per meter. That is reblocking with the slope protection. $60. Okay. 201. So for the equipment requirements, we needed there the low bed trailer with prime mover 1 dump truck owned, 1 backhoe owned, 1 road grader, 1 road roller, 1 transit mixer owned, 1 cargo truck, 1 payloader, 1 water truck, and 1 batching plant. And again, the minimum materials testing equipment under Department Order number 11 series of 2017. And for the key personnel, project manager, project engineer, and project foreman should have at least 1 year of related experience, and the materials engineer may not be a DPWH accredited for the project cost is less than 5 million. So, civil engineer is allowed. For the requirements to the DO241 series of 2024 on the submission of CSSP, then a first aider with the photo of certificate of first aid training issued by the PNRC with the valid ID, and for the construction site safety officer, again, certificate of completion on the basic OSS course, which is issued by the DOLE, should be submitted. And that's for the contract 25PL0120. So for contract ID 25PL0121, organizational outcome 1, ensure safe and reliable national road system, asset preservation program, rehabilitation, reconstruction of roads with slips, slope collapse, and landslides, tertiary roads, Tabuk, Banawe, Bayatanudan, Barlig Road, at station 521 plus 1213 to K0521 plus 1313. Location of the project is at Tanudan, Kalinga. An EBC of 29,400,000 pesos only. The contract duration is 200 calendar days. The brief description of the project is construction of 100 meters length by 6.7 meters width by 0.28 meters thick PCCP and 100 meters length mechanically stabilized earth slope protection. The bid opening is scheduled on September 2, 2025. Jadi mechanically ganyan. So, 200. Kita di sinking. Di sinking niya. When mechanically stabilized earth. Geotextile, ayos. Calendar days. How's the application? How's the So the PDS is check that niya. So, mo di calendar days. specification na. Okay, let's go to move on to the BOQ. And for other requirements, permits and clearances. Wala, ako. Miscellaneous survey and sticking. Please check. May program na. Yung nakalsada mo. Isang pasada. So, project billboard, signboard, 2 each. And the occupational safety net program, 52,888 pesos and 52 centavos. Kung nagpasit yan. This observation, yeah. But we can correct it earlier debate there. So traffic management, mobilization, demobilization, for the earthworks, removal of actual structures obstruction, 0.28 meter stick, PCCP, 268 square meter, surplus common excavation, 7,817.34 cubic meter, structure excavation, common soil, 99.33 cubic meter, pipe culverts and excavation, 30 cubic meter, embankment from barrow, granular fine materials, 4,270.21 cubic meter, subgrade preparation, 670 square meter, for the subbase and base course, is for item 200, 67 cubic meter, and for the PCCP, under part E, surface course, 670 square meter, and drainage and slope protections, catch basins, 910 mm diameter, 3 each, stone masonry, 145 cubic meter, drain pipe PVC, 670 linear meter. For part H, cylinder structures, curb and gutter, cast in place, 134 linear meter, and the reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings, wide, 464 square meter. And for part I, materials details, concrete, clay, plastic, and fiber pipe, structured wall pipe, high density polyethylene at 910 mm diameter, 36 linear meter. Geotextile, 10,400 square meter. Separation geotextile, moisture management geotextile, 1,200 square meter. Drainage geotextile, 1,000 square meter. Geotextile bag, 1 by 1 by 10 meters, 70 pieces. So, that's sulat pa rin ni Baudi. Wala. So, di baba. Ato. Kan di last pinakalas. Yan nila. Kung saan ta. 10 meters. Pieces. Ano yung backwood yan? Pieces. Extended. Content 100 times content. Times pasti sector lain na extended sa makatulong. Di pa man, apa ewan ti kwa na? Di pa just do the sinking dito, di bankmet. Subat, lang mapalan di sorpas nga ron. Nga. Awan, di ba kanuan ng for na kita. So niya, selakat. Cut and fill siguro kita. Nga. Tadi yung bankmet. Yes. Per layer sa yung textile. So, sa di fine, ano, di baba, di 4,000 plus na di. So, at least, i-detail yun to, di plano. Na, sa widening na. Kasi di sinking din, nag-suck na niya, di ba? Dati ng PCCP. So, nagpagurang nyo lang, kastan lang, di ba na? So, baka mahanap din nga kung mayroon. So, 100 meters, super giant, kastan lang PCCP makita. Di ba na, paano lang kayo? So, we needed there one low bed trailer with prime mover, 4 dump truck, at least 2 owned, 1 payloader, 1 water truck, 2 backhoe owned, 1 motorized road grader, 1 road roller, 1 transit misser, 1 cargo truck, and an accelerated batching plant. And again, for the materials minimum testing equipment, under Department Order number 11 series of 2017. For the key personnel, project manager, project engineer, and project foreman should have at least 2 years of related experience. And for the materials engineer, he should be he or she must be DPWH accredited. For the under Department Order 241 series of 2024, the submission of Series P, first aider should have a certificate of first aid training issued by the Red Cross and an valid ID again issued by the PNRC. And for the construction and safety officer, should undergo a training on the basic OSS course, and a certificate of completion should be issued by the DOLE. So again, Sir Marjon, please take note on those observations. And, your correction, please just approach the procurement unit for some amendments. So for contract ID 25PL 0121 0122. Project titles, the locally funded projects, National Building Program, buildings and other structures, multi-purpose facilities construction of NBI building, Tabok City, Kalinga. So nag-prepare dito yung Marjon ni architect, may nag-give you one. Ang bilis. Tama rin. May bisita na. Is for locally funded project, National Building Program, buildings and other structures, multipurpose facilities, construction of NBI building located at Tabuk City, Kalinga, and an BC of 9,800,000 pesos only. The contract duration is 210 calendar days. The brief description, so the scope of works includes earthworks, site development. This include the perimeter fencing, ground floor, in an area of 10.2 meters by 29 meters to roof deck, structural concrete, and reinforcements. So, masonry works at ground level, plumbing and electrical roughing. So again, this partial man niya. So, mas lang structure pa lang natin. Baba, masonry works lang. Sige, let's review the BOQ. For the BOQ, permits and clearances, under Lamsam, project billboard, signboard, 2 weeks. Occupational safety program, 286,852 pesos and 47 centavos. Mobilization, demobilization, 1 Lamsam. RC, earthworks, structure excavation, common soil, 263.3 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway structure excavation, common soil, 159.6 cubic meter. Embankment from barrow, common soil, 168.8 cubic meter. Gravel field, 57.70 cubic meter. Site development, again, under Lamsam. For part B, plain and reinforced concrete works, structural concrete, plus A at 28 days, 270.44 cubic meter. For the rate RSB, at grade 40, 17,980.58 kilograms. For the reinforcing steel, deform at grade 60, 27,995.88 kilograms. Formworks and false work, Lamsam 1. Finishing works, 150 mm CSD, non-loading, including RSB, 160.56 per meter. Sewer line works, 1 Lamsam. Septic vault, tank, concrete CSD, 1 Lamsam. RF, electrical works, includes the conduits, boxes, and fittings. Conduit works, conduit roughing, 1 Lamsam. And the panel board with main and branch breakers, again, 1 Lamsam. Okay, let's move on to the equipment. So for the minimum major equipment requirements, we need there 1 dump truck owned and 1 cargo truck. And again, the requirements under Department Order number 11 series of 2017 is the minimum materials testing equipment. And for the key personnel, project manager, the electrical engineer engineer or master electrician, sanitary engineer, and master plumber, and the foreman should have at least 1 year of related experience. And for the project engineer, it must be a DPWH accredited as to DO number 148 series of 2024. And for the materials engineer, it must be a DPWH accredited. And again, for the requirements to DO 241 series of 2024 on the submission of CSSP, which is being approved by the HOPE, the first aider should have a certificate of first aid training and a certificate should have undergone a training on the first aid, and a certificate of completion will be issued by the Red Cross. So with the valid first aider ID. And for the construction site safety officer, should have undergone a training on the basic OSS course, and a certificate of completion will be issued by the DOLE. So if there are no other queries or questions from the none. So with that, that ends our pre-bid conference scheduled this day. So from Ma'am Maribik, any announcement?
Good morning, everyone. Just the usual announcements and reminders to our bidders. We have that existing three-strike policy of DPWH that is in consonance also with RA 9184. So this includes activities that are subject to strike, like late bids, withdrawal from bidding, and patently insufficient bid. Still, we are receiving some bid unsigned documents that is already incomplete, considered incomplete, and that is considered for strike. Also, we are advising the bidders or those preparing their technical documents to submit clear copies of the registration or proof of ownership of your equipment. There are those submitted that cannot be read already because they have been xeroxed for how many times. So please submit clear copies of your technical documents. And then please include in your bid the email address of your company, especially those who are not local contractors. The email address, that is the PhilJobs registered email address, because we will be issuing some notices through email. Sometimes there are those bid that the cover page does not have the name of the company. Please put the name of the company in your cover page of your technical and financial documents, your email address also. That's also.
Thank you, Ma'am Maribik. So again, to our prospective bidders, to those physically present here, and of course those who are watching us on our YouTube channel, please take notes of those reminders and announcement. So if there are no other queries and questions, the BAC will now declare that our procurement activity, this is the pre-bid conference for 4 infra projects scheduled this day, is adjourned. Once again, thank you very much to everyone and also those who are following us on our YouTube channel. Good morning and God bless us all.